You working hard today?
Yeah, hour of sleep.
So help us understand who you are.
Um, well, the artist name is Logicz. I am a businessman, artist, entrepreneur. Um, I've been doing music since I was 15. Started my own company, the studio company, at 22, and have been running with it since.
That's dope, man. So, like I told you, the whole purpose of the Make It Count podcast is dropping gems on young entrepreneurs and letting them know your start. So you say you started doing music at 15, right?
Yeah.
What got you that passion to even get into music?
I mean, I was always in love with the arts. You know, I've always found, I guess, some type of therapeutic element in expressing myself. So it started with acting. Really, that's where it was. That was my major thing. But music to me was more so of a hobby. I kind of just used it as a diary type. You know, like I would write some entries, and it would just be with a flow, and it would rhyme, but it would help me kind of get some things off my chest that I didn't really want to tell other people. So eventually I started actually taking it serious and, you know, doing little shows here and there in high school, just talent shows and kind of just showing it to the world. But it wasn't until after I graduated high school that I actually decided to maybe make a career out of it. And from there, kind of just took me where I am right now.
So let's start back to the beginning when you started at 15 and that passion came and you said it was a hobby and things like that. So how did you even go about looking for shows or trying to get yourself in the music career?
It started with open mics. You know, I think that's the most common way to find just a kind of a venue or a way to express what you have musically. So I would go to different open mics that friends would tell me about. There was some in Churchill's, one called Speak Fridays that they moved a couple times, but it started in Bury Road, then they moved to Wynwood. So it started there. Then from there, as people saw me perform and other, I guess, event planners or other artists and people who through events themselves saw me, they started to actually bring me on board to their events and, you know, started booking me from there.
So how big it is for you to stay connected with people starting out?
Yeah, that's extremely important. I think that's a major key, you know, not to quote DJ Khaled, but that definitely is. You know, staying connected and just, you have to network, man. It's how you get shows, it's how you get connections, and just it's basically how you get in front of people that are making big moves in the industry you're trying to, you know, grow in. So connections is a very, very important thing.
So after you started doing open mics, you made a lot of connections and things like that. What was your next step into the music industry?
That was tricky. I mean, I thought it was getting signed. As soon as I started doing the shows and I made the connections, I figured maybe the next step was getting signed by a major record label, or even an indie record label, honestly. So that was kind of the the goal I was trying to pursue or trying to achieve, really, was, you know, getting that deal. And a couple deals came across and passed me by, and, you know, the terms and conditions basically weren't up to par, or, you know, at least up to my standards. And from there, I kind of just decided to build my own empire as opposed to chasing one, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
So let's back it up a little bit. You from Miami, and you actually had a lot of deals on the table. At what age you would say that they started coming your way?
I think 18 was when I first got my 18 was when I got my first deal. And then from there, everything just kind of was like a domino effect. I got on BET shortly after, and then I was offered another deal right during the same time as the BET shows. So yeah.
So with you being on such of a platform like BET, you know, and we in the digital age right now, what made you not want to continue to go that route to get a deal?
I guess because it wasn't what I wanted, the deals at least, they weren't what I was looking for. It kind of frustrated me. I have very little patience. I move quick, and I don't like to be tested too often, I guess. So when both deals fell through, I kind of felt like, all right, I had to maybe change my approach. I don't like to make the same mistake multiple times, and I felt like that was a mistake. Just relying on some other person or business, or label to push me and grow me to where I have to get to. Obviously that's my personal opinion, but I just felt like it wasn't for me, just because of those two mishaps, and I decided, to do that whole independent thing, like full on.
So you stopped chasing the deal, and now you're independent. What steps are you taking now to excel your career?
Well, I'm really growing with the business. I felt like after I decided to go and do the whole independent route, or pursue that, I felt like I would need to make some type of income with the music industry. So the studio idea was the first thing that came to mind, and with that I grew. I made so many other connections with the studio. Just having even some big name artists come by like Conscience and Baby Sham and Aldo Benny. So being able to keep in contact with these people and other producers and managers in the industry has helped me just reach that next level. And I'm even now taking a step into opening up my own record label. So just looking at what the next stage and what the next level is for me, and kind of just setting my mind to achieving that.
Okay, so let's take it back a few steps. I know you said you to break in the music industry, you felt like you had to, get your business straight first. So with starting the studio, what was your challenges of starting the studio?
Well, finances was a big thing. I don't come from a rich background, but it's what it is. Support from others. Yeah, it's very funny when a 22-year-old tells you he wants to open up his own studio. It's not like you get a lot of people that believe in you. So, the negative comments I would receive, and I've gotten so many times that was the worst idea I could ever, or the worst thing I could ever pursue. So it was that. It was a lot of the finances. It was a lot of the negative connotations behind just a young businessman, and especially one who doesn't go to college or has never been to college. Because after my high school graduation, that's it. That was the furthest I pursued education in that regard. Obviously, I still educated myself, just reading and researching. But it was hard to find believers. So that's always a tricky scenario. But no, other than that, just the work as well, I guess. Just the hard work that it comes with, trying to push your business and make it successful. So.
So with you starting the studio and having all the negative people coming at you, with you being young and with the trouble of the finances, how did you find the passion or the belief to even know that it will work or be as successful as it is right now today?
A lot of it had to do with faith. I had faith in God, and I knew He had a bigger picture for me, and so it helped me stay motivated. I feel like I've been able to overcome and just achieve anything I set my mind to, as long as I'm motivated and I stay persistent. So, but faith in God definitely played a big part, or a major role in it. So, yeah.
So, I want to talk about business right now. So, what were some of the hardest challenges once you got the studio and everything started working for you? You started getting a few clients coming in. What were some of the biggest challenges you had?
Aside from the workload, was the leadership. I've always stood out, and I've always, I've had jobs in the past where I had to maybe train multiple people or I had some type of leadership role, but it was a whole new level and a new challenge when I opened up the studio, trying to lead a team of people that had the same dream as me, that wanted to be successful in the music industry or just the entertainment industry. I had other engineers and videographers and photographers and artists and interns and all these people that looked up to me and looked for me to figure out the solution anytime we ran into problems. And it was, again, I'm 22-year-old businessman, the first business I've ever opened or ran. So that was definitely a challenge. It was learning and adapting to that, and Also understanding that my words made a very large impact in the people around me, which was somewhat new. So that was definitely one of the challenges. Aside from all the paperwork that comes with it. Nobody ever teaches you that. Or maybe they do, and I've never been to college and didn't go to business school. So these are things that I didn't know, all these, having to get your corporation or LLC and then your fictitious name and, the Florida local tax and all that fun stuff. So that was also a challenge.
So I know the name of the studio is called Asylum. Where did you even come up with that name from?
Man, so like I said, in high school I was into acting, and our troop number, Troop 7063, that's, I guess, the group of actors in each school. They have different numbers and whatnot. So the name behind our troop was the Reagan Theater Asylum. Ronald Reagan was the high school I went to, and theater is what we did, and the asylum is just because my drama teacher thought we were all crazy. So my drama teacher was a very inspirational. Like, he inspired me to do so much, and I really love the name Asylum, and I love the idea behind that. That yeah, we are crazy. So I was running through some names, and that one really stuck out to me, and I thought that was something I could run with. Just the whole concept of an asylum, of a mental hospital for the mentally ill, a refuge for the mentally ill. And I thought, we could do maybe a play on words. Instead of a refuge for the mentally ill, it was a refuge for the creatively ill. And then from there came the themes behind every room. The recording studios, the isolation room, the photography studios, the padded cell, and so on and so forth. So, yeah.
So with you having a lot of, a few big artists come through the studio right now, what is your plan to grow the studio in that aspect?
Wow. A lot of it has to go, a lot of it, the growth has come from just word of mouth and people talking about us. But, aside from working on the aesthetics here and making sure that the studio looks and feels great, building a second studio is part of the game plan for this year. I want to do Studio B, where it's a larger room with more equipment. That way we can have more clients and more sessions happening at the same time. We have somewhat of an issue where, we can't double book. We can't have two sessions running at the same time because we only have one recording studio. So it's a great thing to see that we're busy, but at the same time, I hate to turn people away. So, definitely Studio B would be something that is going to help us grow and just achieve that next level. From there, once I max or I cap this place out, I definitely want to look into branching out, maybe Asylum Orlando, or Atlanta. Those are two possible candidates.
Okay, that's dope. So with the studio, getting a lot of attention from a lot of local artists, and you growing, and I know you said that you want to start a record label. What challenges are you facing now with, getting another studio, with starting a record label and things like that?
Well, we'll get the other studio again. Money plays a big role in it. Because it's gonna be more. It's gonna have more equipment. It's gonna obviously run a way more expensive. But I guess just trying to multitask or trying to control and grow multiple things at once. Especially now with the label. And we have the photography studio that I'm trying to grow. We have the team that I'm trying to still build and develop. Trying to manage all of these at once, it's kind of tricky. And trying to figure out, all right, what is going to be the most effective, or what's the best place to put the money, and invest in right now, to move forward or to grow, or I can't put money in every single thing. So trying to figure out that plan is a little bit tricky right now, but I think I'm confident we'll get through it and we'll figure it out.
Okay, so it's safe to say that record label is something that you look forward to, especially bringing to Asylum and helping other artists' careers. And early on, you said that you had deals on the table and you turned them down. What would you offer artists that would make them want to be a part of what you have going on?
Aside from full creative control, I want them to feel like it's more so of a partnership as opposed to me owning them and everything that they, basically push out is mine and I'm keeping everything. I want them to feel like, we're business partners and I'm just here to help and develop and grow them as individuals and as musicians. I want this to be something that's fun for them. I want it to be something where we both gain, you feel me? Music is a very tricky industry and it's very, if not impossible, to do it on your own. So, for somebody to know that somebody else has your back and has, doesn't want anything but great things for you is, I feel, something very important. And I want to be the label that makes artists feel like that, that doesn't create this false sense of trust, or between the artist and the label. So I want to be able to break that boundary and, be the label that artists look up to. I want to be able to eventually compete with Def Jam and Universal and all these.
So you being an artist and a label owner, how are you combating those two and getting your music out there, running the studio, starting the label? How is all of that planning going?
I mean, I feel like it could be going way better. Definitely, it's hard and because on one side. I'm trying to make sure the business doesn't go down. And on the other side, I have music and all these other situations I have to handle for the label and for, Logicz as the artist. And, as a label, we have other artists that now I have to push and do all that. So I think growing and developing the team around it and knowing where I'm going to put people is going to be it's going to play a major key in this and just in helping me facilitate and, successfully facilitated at least. So yeah, definitely finding out where I'm going to fit people.
Okay. So with you being an artist and the music industry is so hard to break into, I know you said that you're making a lot of connections and things like that. Are you working with artists right now, or where's your music line right now with so much going on?
Yeah, definitely. Collaborations to me are a big thing. And I'm working with Zorenzo right now. Jay Howard is also one of the artists I'm working with very closely, and a few producers. So I'm trying to collab with as many artists as I can now, so that down the road it's just going to be easier. I'm going to have an arsenal of music that I can just, push out if there's ever gaps in my career where I can't record because I'm on tour or doing other things. I'll have at least that catalog of music I can start to push and distribute. But yeah, trying to work with as many people as I can right now and just, start collecting all this music and stacking them up.
So with you being a young entrepreneur and handling both sides, basically balancing both things, what would you say is the most important to you right now?
That is balance. I feel is the most important to me. Like as far as, balancing time with your family, time for the business, time with friends. I think that's been one of the bigger challenges too, and I'm surprised I didn't say that before, but I think having a great or healthy balance is going to be vital to growing, both, in my career and also as a person, as a man. So, yeah, that's going to be a little bit of I feel like a fight, but I know I can handle it, and I know I have family right now that believes in me and understands that the amount of time I'm putting into the business is not just for fun. It's to grow and to eventually have a future that can, it's a future that I can be proud of.
So I know you mentioned family. How involved is your family in your career as a business owner and as a music artist?
Well, my mother to start is like probably my number one fan. So I got that for me. She's always supporting and going to shows whenever I invite. And my brother, my cousin, they always come out whenever they can, really. So it's been a blessing, I would say. Being able to have at least some people, rooting for me, some people that I grew up with and I'm close with, family, blood, relatives that actually believe in the vision and have believed in it before, I was at the place I am now. So, yeah.
So, on the Make It Count podcast, we always like for you to give a 5-minute commercial, 5-second commercial of why people should come to Asylum, why people should listen to your music.
Okay.
Just let everybody know what you got going on.
All right. Well, starting with Asylum. You know, this is not like any other studio you've been to, and I guarantee you we have a different vibe, and we create an atmosphere here that allows you to be comfortable in your own skin. So whatever type of genre of music you do, man, we're all for it, and we're right off the highway, so it's not even hard to get to us. Asylum Studios, you guys can Google us, Google Map us, and the address will be right there. We're right off the Palmetto on 57th Avenue. And as far as me as an artist, I'm a conscious rapper, so I speak and I tell stories, and I try to inspire and motivate people to look at themselves, and anytime they're going through issues or they have any problems in their life, to use that as a benefit almost to push them and to mold them. If I didn't go through what I went through, I wouldn't have the content that I have right now to make my music. So I choose to write about positive and inspirational topics, and so I hope you guys like that, and you check me out, Logicz. A lot of music coming soon, real soon, so just stay tuned for that.